under President Bush in the Middle East. We go in, we blast the hell out of everybody, destroy the place, and then we leave, you know? Remember I used to say, keep the oil?
Russia's Orenburg gas processing plant was forced to halt gas intake from Kazakhstan on October 19 following a Ukrainian drone attack on the facility, Kazakhstan's energy ministry announced. The plant, which is located in the southwestern Orenburg Oblast and is the largest of its kind in the world, was targeted in a drone strike, Ukraine's military said earlier in the day. Regional Governor Yevgeny Solntsev reported that a fire had broken out within a workshop of the plant, causing damage to the Gazprom-owned facility. The plant has the capacity to process upwards of 45 billion cubic meters of gas per year. No timeline was provided for a resumption of the plant's operations immediately following the attack. The news comes as Kyiv continues to escalate its campaign against Russian oil and gas infrastructure, a key source of Moscow's revenues, helping to fuel its all-out invasion of Ukraine. While Ukraine's military has previously targeted energy facilities in Orenburg Oblast, including earlier this month when it attacked the Orsk-Nefteorg-Zintez oil refinery in the region, the strikes on the gas plant appear to mark the first time that the facility was targeted. As Ukraine intensifies attacks on Russian energy infrastructure, the Russian economy has continued to suffer. Earlier this month, Russia's Federal Anti-Monopoly Service was asked to impose maximum prices at gas stations as fuel shortages worsen across the country. Russian oil product exports dropped by 17.1% in September compared to August, totaling 7.58 million tons, due to ongoing Ukrainian drone attacks, according to Reuters. Russia regularly targets Ukrainian gas infrastructure and has intensified its attacks on Ukrainian cities ahead of the anticipated harsh winter. A Russian soldier has spoken of his experience of mutinying with his comrades against his commander and subsequently deserting. "Don't go to fight, no matter what they promise you," he says. "There's only one thing there: death." The man was one of the original batch of men mobilized in October 2022, which he says took place when he was given a draft order at his workplace. He was subsequently sent to Ukraine to join an assault unit of the Russian airborne forces. The unidentified man says that his unit mutinied in 2024 after 75% of them were killed in an operation. "We didn't exactly have a storm, probably even worse than that. This is an airborne assault brigade, so they sent us, the airborne, to be butchered." Having started with 496 men, the battalion was down to 120 to 130 men by the time the survivors mutinied. The man says that they were sent to defend a location where there were no trenches, nothing. Literally an hour passed. They gathered the groups, and the guys left. At that point, we had already agreed that we would not go to our positions because we could hear shooting. We could already hear shelling. I said that I wasn't going anywhere, and that was that. 30 people agreed with me. They all refused to go. Literally. It was around 1 o'clock in the morning. The commander came and said, "I'll shoot you. You're 500s, deserters, and so on." So we sent him in the right direction, pointed the guns in the right direction, and he left. The mutineers were treated harshly for their actions, with men beaten and tortured, including the man in the video. Some of the soldiers who refused orders were indeed shot. There were 7 or 8 of them, but they were reset there. How do you figure it out? It's not difficult because, firstly, the men were lying in such a hard-to-reach place, but in the lowland, and the bullet holes there are clearly not shrapnel, not pellets, not caused by drones, that is. They simply reset the numbers of the guys who refused. The man decided to fake a psychiatric breakdown to desert, and simulated cutting his wrists. Of course I was faking it. I may be crazy, but I'm not stupid, right? Of course I thought it all through. I took every opportunity, hid my veins. All that was required of me. I did everything I could to get out of there. The brigade's chief of staff ordered him to be locked up with nothing to eat and drink, handcuffed to bars, probably stairway railings, as seen in the video below. He was then sent to Luhansk to see this pit where refuseniks are held. Our guys are imprisoned. They took me to penal colony IK-15. That is, to see the conditions too. A basement. The guys are sitting there. There are bunks. There is a pallet on the walls. Just a pit. It was a basement room with no light, no nothing. It was in the basement of a building, an ordinary 5-story or 9-story building. He was subsequently sent to a neuropsychiatric center in Luhansk, where he was handed over to doctors and then transferred to a hospital in Samara in September 2024. However, he was refused treatment and faced demands for extortionately large bribes to be rated unfit. I actually went there to be admitted, hoping to somehow get out of the army legally. But it didn't work out. I just showed up one day when I was supposed to be there, showed my documents, and they started picking on me. Even going so far as to say I wasn't in uniform for some reason. A soldier, you're a soldier. For some reason I wasn't in uniform. So I gave up, turned around, and left. I started looking for my own ways, and they charged me almost 3 or 5 million, $37,000 to $62,000, sometimes even from neurologists I knew. Where would that kind of money come from? And it wasn't a sure thing. And at the military registration and enlistment office, they charged me 2 million. We'll just forget about you completely. The price tags are like those of oligarchs, and there's no reliable way to avoid it. In the end, unable to afford the bribes, he turned to the dissident group Go to the Forest for help to flee Russia and go abroad, which he managed to do by March 2025. Now living outside Russia in relative safety, the soldier urges others to follow in his footsteps. I would urge everyone to abandon this army altogether, to desert, not to fight. This country will have no use for you, under no circumstances. Don't sign a contract, don't go to fight, no matter what they promise you. There's only one thing there: death. Trump said in a Fox News interview days ago that Putin will take some territory since he's already conquered areas, comparing it to U.S. interventions under Bush. Trump added the U.S. cannot give all its weapons to Ukraine without endangering America.
Did you get any sense from Putin that he would be willing or open to the idea of ending this war without taking significant property from Ukraine?
Well, he's going to take something. I mean, they fought, and he has a lot of property. I mean, you know, he's won certain property. If you say that, he's won certain property. We're the only nation that goes in and wins a war and then leaves, you know, like we did under President Bush in the Middle East. We go in, we blast the hell out of everybody, destroy the place, and then we leave, you know. Remember, I used to say, keep the oil. You know, we can't give all of our weapons to Ukraine. We just can't do that. And I've been very good to President Zelensky and to Ukraine, but we can't give, you know, if we're going to be short, I don't want to do that. I can't jeopardize the United States.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.